குடியரசு துணைத் தலைவரான வெங்கையா நாயுடு அவர்கள் புதுச்சேரியில் பல்வேறு நிகழ்ச்சிகளில் பங்கேற்பதற்காக புதுச்சேரிக்கு வருகை புரிந்தார். புதுச்சேரி பல்கலைக்கழகத்தில் நடைபெற்ற விழாவில் புதுச்சேரி பல்கலைக்கழக வேந்தரான வெங்கையா நாயுடு அவர்கள் கலந்து கொண்டு குத்து விளக்கேற்றி நிகழ்ச்சிகளை தொடங்கி வைத்தார். புதுச்சேரி பல்கலைக்கழக துணைவேந்தர் குர்மித் சிங் அவர்கள் வரவேற்புரையாற்றினார். தொடர்ந்து பல்கலைக்கழக துணைவேந்தர் குர்மித் சிங் வெங்கையா நாயுடு அவர்களுக்கு நினைவு பரிசு மற்றும் பூங்கொத்து கொடுத்து கௌரவித்தார். பின்னர் குடியரசு துணைத் தலைவர் வெங்கையா நாயுடு அவர்கள் பேராசிரியர்கள் மற்றும் மாணவர்களிடையே சிறப்புரையாற்றினார்.
ஸ்ரீ நாராயணசுவாமி அவர்களே, துணைவேந்தர் புரொஃபசர் குர்மித் சிங் அவர்களே, துணை ஜனாதிபதி செயலாளர் ஸ்ரீ சுப்பாராவ் அவர்களே, பதிவாளர் டாக்டர் சசிகாந்த் தாஸ் அவர்களே, இன்றைய நிகழ்ச்சிக்கு வந்திருக்கும் அனைத்து உள்ளங்களுக்கும் வணக்கம். இந்த வரலாறு நகரத்தில் பாண்டிச்சேரி பல்கலைக்கழகத்தில் உங்கள் எல்லாரையும் தொடர்பு கொள்வதில் மிகவும் மகிழ்ச்சி அடைகிறேன். இந்த நிகழ்ச்சியில் உங்களுடன் உரையாடுவதில் நான் மிகுந்த மகிழ்ச்சி அடைகிறேன். Friends, I understand Tamil, but I can't speak in Tamil. So I feel sorry that I have to speak in a foreign language. The comparer was just telling that I celebrated my birthday. I have never celebrated my birthday in my life. Two things I never celebrate. One is birthday, second is January 1st. Because I think both are not that much important. If it is important, people will celebrate it after your birthday. If you do something good to the society. But this time what happened on the July 1st, the Prime Minister of India has put it on the Twitter wishing me birthday greetings, and then followed by the President of India, then everybody else. So it became viral, and people are calling me. It was such an embarrassing situation for me because you can't totally refuse to take the phone call. Of course, I said I am not going to receive anybody. But by the time I said this, the Home Minister was at the gate, the Home Minister of India, so I could not. He was my former colleague also. So that's how it became popular. I can share with you, not even my wife greets me on that day. She was happily enjoying a holiday in Sri Lanka at that time. Ramayana circuit, she has gone to see that. Dear students, faculty members, and the staff of Pondicherry University, and the Member of Parliament, Sri Gokul Krishna, and other dignitaries who are all here on this occasion. I am really delighted to interact with you all in this historic city and share my thoughts. I feel really happy because Pondicherry is a fascinating place. Pondicherry is an inspiring place. Pondicherry is a spiritual place. Pondicherry is pride of our nation, which is recognized across the globe also. And it has got its own speciality, the Puducherry. So I feel happy when I come here. You have a Ravil Aravindo Ashram. India was once known as Vishwaguru, and also a center of knowledge, thanks to great people like Swami Aravindo, Swami Vivekananda, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, and many people like that. Our land, of course, it has got a great history, culture, heritage. That's why I feel wherever I go, we must speak about our heritage, our culture, our forefathers who has given us this beautiful civilization. I am glad to know that your distinguished Vice Chancellor, Professor Gurmit Singh, on the progress you are collectively making on various fronts and the hard work being put up in each one of you to shape this university into a center of excellence. I had a half-an-hour presentation. Along with the other faculty members, he made a presentation detailed about the university, background of university. Not only as the vice president, but as the chancellor of this university. I am supposed to know about the functioning of the university, highlights of the university, problems of the university, and also the requests, if any, of the university. So I have been adequately briefed on that account. I feel happy about the progress that is being made by this university, and I hope that there is a bright future awaiting this university. And I told the faculty members and the Vice Chancellor also, my only wish is I would like to see this university as one of the centers of excellence. It has all the advantages. It has all the advantages because of locational advantage, place also, internationally known because of Aurobindo. And then you have a very peaceful atmosphere also. Then the clean and green, the way people try to live, you have such a lush greenery which gives you fresh oxygen, fresh thoughts, provided if you protect it. Because I always feel one must love nature and live with the nature. Love and live before loving anybody. You have to love the nature. Nature has been very kind to us. So you will be healthy throughout your life if you start loving the nature from the beginning. Nature, culture combined for better future. If you love the nature, protect the trees, have the sunlight, and also fresh air and good water, what else you require? That will take care of your health. And if you have such a good atmosphere, you will also have good thoughts. Why I said culture, the culture and tradition of India is, we think that the entire universe is one. Vasudhaika Kutumbam, Vasudhaika Kutumbakam, what they call. That means entire Vasudha, world, is one family. No other country and no other civilization has these thoughts. And then, Sarve Jana Sukhino Bhavantu. That means all people. Sarva, that means all. Jana means people. Sukhino, happy. All the people should be happy. That is the philosophy of our country and this great nation. And also, the core philosophy of this nation is share and care. Share and care. Whatever you have, you share with others and care about others. Not only about men and also women, but also about other creatures. That is the great tradition of this country. We adore animals. We do puja for the trees. Nowhere in the world I think anybody does this. You have an Nagara Chauthi where you take milk and then put it into that snake which will otherwise bite you. And you have the festival, Sankranti, Kanuma, those days Pongal, the great Pongal function, the festival of the farming community of the country, where you decorate your own oxen, your own cows, your own other animals also. Then some people have the habit of giving food grains even to the birds also, whichever comes. That is the beautiful culture of this country. So one should really feel proud, and then nature, culture for a better future. Friends, as the Chancellor of this university, I am happy that I have been ranked 13th in the All India rankings by the MHRD in 2016. I noted with satisfaction that you were the first university in the country to start a community college focused on skill development for enhancing employability. I am also pleased that you are using IT extensively in the academic, research and administrative functions of the university. IT is very important. That has become now the major avocation for people instead of depending on manual this thing, IT. IT adds to your beauty. If you If you make it as your duty, then you will become mighty in the life. By using IT, not only in the university, but in regular life in the administration, where there is no need for the people to come everything online, so that there is no need for a line, waiting in the line. Everything, application online, permissions online. That should be that is the aim of the Prime Minister. I hope the Chief Minister of Pondicherry, who is here, Narayana Swamy, has been my friend and colleague in Parliament earlier in my political avatar. Of course, now I have nothing to do with politics. I am retired from politics, but not tired from public life. That's why I am here. See, people should not be made to stand in line, should not be allowed to wait. They are our masters. Whatever is required, that should reach them without any problem. Otherwise, waiting in the line, meeting, greeting the officers, then meeting them, shaking hands with them, doing something in between the hands. All these things are not required to be done. That is the beauty of IT. If you have that system ultimately, and if you go digital, you can really transform. And making the ultimate aim of science and research and IT is to make the people's life more comfortable. That's why I added the word duty. So I am happy that you are using IT extensively in the academic research and administrative functions of the university. I urge you to keep the momentum, keep up the momentum. Please don't let complacency set in. The Vice Chancellor was telling me that his exams are conducted by online, simultaneously. That should be the model for others also. Today, we are living in interesting times. India is emerging as a major world player economically. India is on the move. We are in a transformational, aspirational India. The consonance with the Prime Minister's call to reform, perform, transform. He gave a 3-line mantra: reform, transform, perform. Without performing, you can't transform. And for performing, you have to reform. So the reform, perform and transform, they go together. Transforming every aspect of public life. That is what is required. So each institution must look closely in its own functioning and identify areas that require reform, and those that require transformation. We must also raise the productivity, efficiency and effectiveness and make our processes more transparent, people friendly and responsive to the needs of the people are serving. Paradarshikata, transparency, everything should be transparent. People should know. Accountability, jawabdehi, jawabdari, what do you call it? You should be made accountable. Anybody who fails in his responsibility should be made accountable. Indian economy, which is growing at more than 7%, is poised to become the third largest economy in the coming 10-15 years. India will be the world's largest economy. It will surpass even China also, as per the present estimates, provided if all of us do our duty. The way economy is transferring, the education and job opportunities for the youth are also bound to increase, and the living standards of the people are expected to improve further. With the country having the unique advantage of vast youth population, 65% of the Indian population is below 35 years. It's called as demographic dividend. No other country has this advantage. They are all aging population. Aging population. But we are a young population, aspirational population. Now we are living in an age of LPG. LPG means liberalization, privatization, globalization. If you use LPG properly, you can drive auto vehicle. If you mishandle LPG, what will happen? I did not explain to you. So we must take advantage. Entire world is watching India. India is now being recognized and respected worldwide. Thanks to the technological advancement, everything that is happening here in Pondicherry, within minutes it will be known in France. And what is happening there with the Trump? What is the latest thoughts that will be known here? In such a situation, you must equip yourself with more technological advancement. You must also acquire the skills that are required 21st century world, it requires skills. Simultaneously, you must ensure that there are enough opportunities for them to start new enterprise and generate new jobs. While the government is already focusing on these two aspects through programs like Skill India, Startup India, now there is a new terminology: startup, stand-up, incubation, innovation. Earlier, stand-up means if you go to college or school, teacher is to tell you stand up on the bench. Now stand up on your legs. That is the new mantra. So we must all equip ourselves with the new skills that are required. There is no dearth of knowledge in this country, my young friends. Everybody, a taddy tapper, a weaver, a fisherman, goldsmith, blacksmith, even a cook, everyone has got some talent. Yesterday I was in Andaman. Wherever I go, of course, I not only meet the people, but also meet even the employees and also the servants who are serving in the Raj Bhavan. I met each one of them, and most of them are saying they are only from two places. Some are from Andhra Pradesh, Srikakulam, others are from Tamil Nadu. So cooking wonderful food. Even this some time back, I remember, I want to share with you when this McDonald and this Kentucky Fried Chicken and all these things came. My colleagues at that time, I was the party president, told me, sir, if all these things are allowed, what will happen to our Indian food? What will happen? So I called Jaswant Singh, the then finance minister, to address the concerns. He came and he said, sir, don't worry, sir, our food is time tested. In spite of all these things coming also, nothing will happen to our... And you see today, our idli, our sambar, our dosa, our pongal is universally famous. I went to Vienna, then there also idli dosa. You go to any country, everywhere in the world, this dosa and idli are very famous. You have such a beautiful food, though there is some weakness because of that's colonial mindset. Some of us have weakness. Children also tend to pizza, burger. The eating this stored food is no good. Eating stored food is no good. It will spoil your health. But you have such a beautiful this thing, and then you go for other things, and you have Chettinadu chicken. You have Nellore Chapala Pulsu, fish curry of Andhra Pradesh. You have avakaya, gongora, avial, more kolambu. Beautiful things. And then we run after their chicken, and they say new names are given: chicken 65, chicken Manchuria, Somalia, Bulgaria. Our food is time tested, seasonal tested. Everything your forefathers have told you about rasam, about any other curry, it was all seasonal, tested for thousands of years of civilization. We have a Roman Empire, Roman civilization. You have Egypt civilization. You have a Greek civilization. They are also old. But why? Where are they? Why they are not able to advance? India, as I told you, our wisdom, our time-testedness, and our accommodation of all, we never attacked any country. For your information, before independence and before Mughalai invasion, India's GDP was 27% of the world GDP. The entire world GDP, 27% used to come from India. But we never attacked anybody. But all Tam, Dick and Harry came and attacked us. Ruled us, ruined us, looted us, cheated our minds also. If they have looted the wealth, I understand. But they have ruined some of our minds also, because we think we still look to West, forgetting what is good in our country, in our culture, in our heritage. So my advice to all the youngsters is, first, preserve our culture and heritage. Feel proud of that you are an Indian. You are a Bharatiya. Follow your traditions, your culture. Lakhs of students are passing out of the portals of our higher education institutions each year. Majority of them are lacking employable skills. So education is not for employment alone. Education is for enhancement of knowledge. Education is for empowerment and also for employment. But we are focusing on only employment. How is it possible for 130 crore population, 65% of them are below 35 years, to employment for what? To serve the people, na? If everybody becomes an employee, then whom they will serve? So people has to be equipped to stand on their own. That's why we call it a self-help group, Swasahayata Samuh, Dwakra women groups, the enhancement of skills and all, upgradation of skills. Education should bring out the best in man and lead to his enlightenment and empowerment. It is an instrument for socio-economic transformation of the individual and the society at large. Education is the process of continuous learning and does not end with the acquisition of a degree. Education must inculcate strong moral, ethical values and facilitate the holistic development of an individual. Dear students, my advice to all of you is to dream big, aim high. Think that the whole world of knowledge is open to you, everything is available to you. You master the basics as well as move on to acquire higher competitiveness. Learning must be for fun, enjoyable. It must be a constant source of pleasure rather than being a drudgery and a burden you feel like getting rid of. Sri Aurobindo, the famous spiritual personality associated with this Puducherry, has stated that, I quote, to love, to learn is the most precious gift that one can give to a child. To love, to learn always and everywhere, so that all circumstances, all happenings in life may be constantly renewed and opportunities for learning more and always more, unquote. This love for learning and quest for solution is what needs to be an integral part of every school and university system. The syllabus, the methods of teaching should be such the children must love it. Otherwise you give them so much work and all, they all say, but this much, when I will go to complete, can I do it at all? And then boy will be worried, already is burdened with a heavy load. And this education must be interesting. And as I told you, if you start loving, then you will be able to learn easily. As stated earlier, there is need to vastly improve the quality of education in the Indian universities. The faculty must be constantly learning. Not only students, teachers also must be constantly learning. Learn. Not simply earn. This applies to not only teachers, to also politicians, to all of us. Throughout life, you must go on learning more and more. So that even students who want to, some of the students of this university also may want to go abroad after education. There is no need now, everything is available in India. But still you want to go to America, UK, go, learn, earn and return. Return to your motherland, serve your mother, serve your grandmother, serve your father, serve your others. Take care of your native place. Do something for the betterment of that area. That's my advice to the students. The Swami Aurobindo, the great thinker, saint and philosopher, had to say about the process of teaching and learning. Teachers, please note, quote, the first principle of true teaching is that nothing can be taught. The teacher is not an instructor or a taskmaster. He is a helper and a guide. His business is to suggest and not to impose. He does not actually train the people's mind. He only shows him how to perfect his instrument of knowledge and helps and encourages him in the process. He does not impart knowledge to him. He shows him how to acquire knowledge for himself. See the great words of such a great spiritual person. We should reorient our teaching in a way that it brings the latent talents of the students. We need to turn our universities into global centers of excellence in innovation and research. Like in ancient times when India was known as Vishwaguru, our universities must attract knowledge seekers from all over the world. To achieve this, the professional competence of the teachers has to be enhanced in a significant manner. The Vice Chancellor told me that they are also engaging the visitors to this ashram, Aurobindo ashram, to come here and also whoever is interested to teach also. That is a new experience. Universities are expected not only provide quality education, but more importantly, develop global citizens, equipped with to deal with contemporary challenges in a competent manner. Education must build character, competence, and capacity besides promoting good conduct. Character, caliber, capacity, and conduct. The students should acquire them and they should practice them. I always have a suggestion, even in politics, in public life also, one must see the character, caliber, capacity, and conduct. But unfortunately, some people are trying to put the other C's, not these 4 C's. What are the other C's? Caste, community, cash, and then criminality. If a caste, community, cash, and criminality replaces character, caliber, capacity, and conduct, then you are doomed. This is what is trying to be done in some places. We must be very careful and focus on developing the competent manner. It's an important aspect that I would like to touch upon in current context is the need for gender sensitization. Some of the recent incidents of crime against women are shameful and a matter of serious concern. We all have to act collectively to raise awareness against the discrimination of the girl child. The Prime Minister brought in Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao. Why this? Why discrimination at all? It is not there in the Shastras, or in the Vedas, or in the Puranas. In the Puranas, even the gods and goddesses also, Saraswati Devi, Education Department, Durga Devi, Defense, Lakshmi Devi, Finance. And in this country also all the rivers, major rivers of the country, Ganga, Kaveri, Yamuna, Narmada, Tapati, Mahanadi, Mahendra Tanaya, all the beautiful names of the rivers are all after women. That is the great tradition of this country. And now we are thinking whether we can empower women, whether they will be able to manage well or not. You have so many women leaders in the country. We have excelled earlier, excel now. You may differ with them, but with regard to their capacity. So many leaders we have. We had the Prime Minister, Srimati Indira Gandhi. We have now ministers, Srimati Sushma Swaraj, External Affairs Minister, one of the most dynamic ministers. And then we have so many, you have Amma, Jayalalitha, late Jayalalitha ji. You have Mamata ji, you have so many, Mayawati ji, so many leaders. In their own way, you may disagree with their politics, but they are dynamic. You must understand, na? They are all dynamic. You might disagree, you may oppose also, no problem. In a democracy, there is nothing wrong. Opposition has to do its duty. But at the same time, the fact is, if given an opportunity, women also can excel. That has been proved. So why should this atrocities? And you read in newspapers and you see on TV, that also newspapers and TV people are more focusing and highlighting as if it's a heroic act. This rape, attack on children, the girls, atrocious. It should be condemned. And those incidents should be isolated and the action has to be taken locally rather than highlighting them. Because it creates a psyche in the minds of the people. You have to understand that. And then how do you do it? You cannot do it simply by bringing a legislation. I was there in Parliament at the time, I think as a member of Parliament, not the minister. Then there was a discussion about this Nirbhaya, that unfortunate, atrocious behavior against a girl by some of these other fellows. So people are saying, no, bring a new bill. Of course, government brought a new bill. I am not against the bill. Mere bill is not going to solve the problem. What is required along with the bill? Political will, administrative skill, and then go for a kill of the social evil. That's the bill. Legislation लाने से सब कुछ होगा ऐसा नहीं होगा. कानून का thefts are happening. There is no legislation. There is a police station, but still theft is happening. Attacks are happening in spite of law, Indian Penal Code, Criminal Penal Code procedure. You need to change the mindset of the people. As I told you, Sarve Jana Sukhino Bhavantu, Vasudaika Kutumbam, that philosophy has to be taught to our children in the education system itself. The cultural heritage. So we must make our youngsters to respect women, fellow students, treat them with respect, give them the needed encouragement. And you are all fortunate that you got admission into this university. You have an opportunity to study in one of the most premier institutions of higher learning of our country. Make full use of your opportunities available here. Look at the opportunities in the wider world as well. This is a good place for learning. And you find in some of the universities unnecessary diversions are taking place, unnecessary controversies. Of course, fortunately, these controversies and disturbances are confined to only 4 or 5 universities out of 800 universities. Some of these universities are in news for wrong reasons. Somebody observing Afzal Guru festival and somebody going for a beef festival. You want to eat beef, whatever you want to eat now. Why festival? Kiss festival. You want to kiss somebody or you got permission, both of you go to your room and then kiss. Na? Why do you do this? For that then making a public issue and then controversy, then unnecessary attention, getting diverted and all. These are all silly things to do in the universities. And then universities must be a place of learning. And those days have gone, those strikes, initial days and all. Now everything is available. There was a joke, there used to be a joke during my college days. One father came to college. Everybody was standing outside, all the students. Father, who is a farmer, he asked me, what is happening? He said, sir, we are on a strike. The father innocently asked that for strike for what? Karanam. Enna reason enna. He said, sir, we are all on strike and the issue will be decided in the evening general body meeting. So, you are wasting your time. You are not going to hurt the teacher or the professor or the vice chancellor. He is not going to lose. Whether college runs or not, he will get his salary. The management gets their fees. You are losing precious opportunity. And moreover, you are in a competitive world now. Earlier, there is no such competition. Now you are, as I told you, it's LPG now. Everywhere competition. You have a WTO, World Trade Organization, regulations also. So you have to be extra intelligent, knowledgeable. You must come out with new ideas, innovative ideas, out-of-box ideas. Learn new techniques. That's why the startups and stand-ups are being encouraged by the government. The Prime Minister is taking keen interest in that. Because to see that Indian knowledge, talent comes out in full stream. Friends, so you must utilize your time in a precious manner. The world of learning and the world of work are changing at a very fast pace. You need to be adaptable, agile and innovative. The education, knowledge and the skills you have acquired all these years must be used to transform the world through disruptive innovations and make it a better place for living. Gandhiji has once said, Mahatma Gandhi, he said, I quote, healthy discontent is the prelude to progress. Healthy discontent. Healthy, not unhealthy. What is happening is this negative attitude, obstructive, destructive attitude is not going to help you. You need to have a constructive. You need to debate, discuss and decide, even in parliament, assembly or here also. Everywhere you have to debate, discuss and decide, not disrupt. In a democracy, there will be always scope for disagreement. That's why I tell them in the house also, the chairman, I said, you want to protest, protest. Talk out, then walk out. No breakout. You want to oppose, let the government propose, let the opposition oppose, and let the house dispose. House should decide. Right? That is the spirit of democracy. That is the attitude we have to develop. We are an independent country now. After the 60 years or 70 years of independence, if you still adopt a negative attitude, obstructive attitude, destructive attitude, we will be harming ourselves. While keeping abreast with the modern day trends and changes, you must not forget your roots. Please remember that you are the inheritors of a great culture. It's a culture that has valued knowledge. It's a culture that has held scholars in high esteem. It's a culture that believed that we must learn from the best minds from across the world. Try to get a glimpse into our ancient treasure, such nuggets of wisdom, of which there are quite a large number. They are the gems of wisdom and give you the illumination when you are in a dilemma as to which path of action is better. These give you the foundation of ethical behavior and enable you to take decisions that are good for you as well as those around you. Be proactive, global citizens with a strong Indian roots. I recall what Mahatma Gandhi has said. He said, I quote, I do not want my house to be walled in all sides. I don't want to close my windows and doors fully, he said. I want the cultures of all the lands to be blown out about my house as freely as possible. All the cultures, let it come to my house. But last word, but I refuse to be blown off my feet by any. I welcome all the other cultures, ideas, but I will not be blown off my feet. So that means you must remember your roots. That's why I always tell the students wherever I go, I am requesting them, suggesting to them, advising them to remember 5 things. 1, everyone should remember mother. Mother means, mother includes father also. Woman, W-O-M-A-N, man also is there. Remember mother. Because this country also, we call it as motherland, we don't call it as fatherland. Bharata Mata, we don't say Bharata Pita. Mother should never forget who has given you this beautiful life. Second, the Janma Bhumi, the native place where you are born, where you grown. You should remember that place and do something later when you become something big for the welfare of that area. Third is the mother tongue, the language that has come from mother's womb. The beautiful mother tongue, Tamil, Malayalam, Telugu, Kannada, Marathi, Punjabi, Assami, Bhojpuri, whatever language that has come from mother's womb, you should remember it. But now it is becoming a fashion, not only with the students, with also some of the parents who are even illiterates. They tell their child, Nana, say, Mummy, Daddy, Mummy, Daddy. What is this fun? I am not able to understand. So at home, my advice to all the younger generation, at home, speak in your mother tongue. When you go out and if the people do not know in mother tongue, then you speak other language. Mother tongue. What is this? This weakness is not only about the children, it's because of the parents also. They themselves say, Nana, say Mummy, Daddy. What is this Mummy, Daddy, Bidi, Jadi, Kedi? Beautiful. Now you want to call your Amma, Amma. You say Amma, it will come from Antaral, inside. If you say Mummy, it will come from here. Go back home tonight and practice with your parents. Amma means Mummy means I am not against any other language. I will come to it later. But we should not forget because language and tradition go together. Bhasha और भावना एक साथ चलता है. Your ideas, your thoughts can be explained in a better manner in your mother tongue. And then motherland, the country which has given you this birth, which has brought you up to this level, you should never forget that country throughout your life. Country means not only geographical boundary, Kanyakumari to Kashmir, Campbell to Kashmir. The country means 130 crore population. This civilization, this nature, you should never forget it. Anything happening anywhere, you should be concerned. Hey, something happened in Kashmir, Kashmir is too far away. Why should I bother about it? If your foot is affected, and if the mind thinks, why should I bother about the foot? And if you don't bend, mujhe kya hai isme? And then if your eyes do not look at that, and then your finger do not go there, and then see what has happened, then what will happen? Then because it's all one body. Similarly, Atak to Katak, Kanyakumari to Kashmir, irrespective of caste, creed, sex, religion and region, India is one. We are one nation, one people, one country. So national security and safety of India should be given topmost priority by all of us. And fifth is, we should never forget the Guru, the teacher, the professor who taught you. The Guru. You may say, now sir, what is the need? Now you ask your children something. They will immediately open, Google. What is said in Google? See, Google is useful, but Google can never replace Guru. Please remember that. Guru is paramount. Guru is these 5 things has to be remembered. I was talking about the mother tongue. Mother tongue, whoever has come from outside, the first attack they made was on our culture and our language. I was in Latin American countries some 15 days back, 1 month back. Guatemala, Panama, Peru, I went there. those people forgot their languages because Spanish people came and conquered them and made them to forcefully to learn Spanish language. And kings, those rulers have encouraged, and people have forgotten their. And in India also now, there was a report day for yesterday, there are a lot of languages, slowly people are, they are getting vanished. Not a good thing. So please, and language, mother tongue is like your eyes. Your eyes are mother tongue. And other language is like your spectacle. If you have eyes, spectacles will work. If you don't have eyesight, then you will lose foresight and all sight. Even if you don't have vision and you wear Ray-Ban glasses, what is the advantage? So first improve, be proficient. I want all Indian universities at one day or other. I don't know whether I will be able to see it in my lifetime. I want to see all teaching in India, including science, including technology, including medicine. Everything is taught in their respective languages. That should be the order. I am not against English. Learn as many languages as possible. Learn English, learn Hindi. Merely opposing Hindi also is no use, I am telling you. I know that from where I am speaking. You will be the loser. You will be the loser. Nothing should be forced on anybody, but opportunities to learn more. Narayan Swamiji might have experienced it also. If you don't learn, he was in charge of his party affairs in Madhya Pradesh. If you go to Madhya Pradesh and speak in English, people will be looking at you. And if you speak in Tamil, only you understand it in Madhya Pradesh. Same thing happened to me also. I became national president. I participated in anti-Hindi agitation during my student days. When I went to Delhi, then I understood the importance of Hindi. Because Hindi ke bina Hindustan mein aage badhna sambhav nahi. So you have to learn Hindi, you have to learn English, then you want to learn Italian, you want to learn Russian, French, learn as many languages as possible. But first, master your mother tongue. That's my advice to all of you, my friends. And then, finally, I would like to tell all my students, be progressive, aim high, dream high. This is what Abdul Kalam has said. Dream and aim. Simply dreaming alone, having dreams. I also became a hero and recollect MGR. You have to work hard also. How much hard work these people in different walks of life. The best example is Dr. Kalam. He is an ordinary family. He was distributing newspapers, newspaper vendor. He could become a great scientist and president of India because of hard work, commitment. You have the example of the Prime Minister, whose family was serving chai, then could become Prime Minister of a powerful country. And I remember my own, I have not studied in convent, never went to English medium school. I studied in a street school, what we call in our area, local language, Veedi Badi. And then, because of hard work and because of commitment and being continuously in the same party, could reach the second highest constitutional position in the country. My family, nobody was educated. Maybe surprise to you. Nobody was in politics. But still, everything came to me. From school people leader, from college people leader, from university students president, from JP movement, to MLA at the area engaged, leader of the party, then BJP state, then BJP national, then central minister, rural development, urban development, all. Because constantly hard work, trying to learn more and more. So my advice to all of you is, please work hard, be disciplined. Discipline is not for the sake of principal or vice chancellor. Discipline is for your own well-being. And then aspire to become something. You will. And then have a right mind. Otherwise, you know what is happening, because thanks to part of cinema, part of TV and all, People are getting into depression, committing suicides, very bad tendency. Such a bright future is there for us. Why should we look into that side, that aspect and all? So for that you need to create the proper atmosphere, green and green, Swachh Bharat. As I was telling, I am happy that Vice Chancellor LG also was telling me that this rainwater harvesting, beautiful. You have such a greenery, rainwater is coming and going waste. We have to preserve the rainwater. Must create check dams. And every house must have a rainwater harvesting system. And every house must have some tree plantation. And then every place, wherever government is possible, solar lighting. Beautiful. India, fortunately, you have sun 365 days. Sometime back I went to London and I was traveling in a car. The driver told me, sir, good morning. I said, good morning. He said, sir, sunny day. I said, is it son's birthday, your son's birthday? He said, no, sir, it is a sunny day, sir, happy. I said, sunny day. Poor fellow, in India, 365 days are sunny days. If you tap in this, now solar is going to change your life. The tariff, which is thermal, 6 rupees 70 paise, 7 rupees, has now come down to 2 rupees 60 paise, 70 paise. Solar. It is available everywhere. So we must, in life, and friends, at the end of the day, I would like to tell the Puducherry University staff and students, spend time with society also. Study here, but spend considerable time with the society. The researchers, the scientists, the other people should spend some time with the farmers, with the fishermen, with ordinary people, so that you understand their problems, you can guide also. All the villages, this is Puducherry is a small state. You leave means I am not asking to leave those areas, Mahe, Karaikal or this thing. But this Yanam, this area, if you adopt every village and go to village, educate them, illiteracy, need for literacy, social evils, campaign against social evils, tree plantation, Swachh Bharat, these things will make you really very knowledgeable and living with the people, loving with the people, very good. That the university can use its research capacity for finding solution for social problems like literacy, maternal and child health, drinking water, environment. So connect research with the field. What people say, lab to land is also equally important. You have a social responsibility. I am told university is taking up social responsibility. You can adopt the entire villages and study there and guide the solutions for their problems. I am told the university is going to also have a chair in the name of a great Aurobindo. It's long overdue. I don't know why it was not thought of earlier. And I received a representation from the Vice Chancellor about the details. I will definitely go through it and then discuss with the HRD Minister. You have a very active Chief Minister. You can seek his support also for the advancement of university. You have 2 active members of Parliament. I told them also they should contribute to something to this university. Both Radha Krishna and Gokul Krishna, both Krishnas, they should also take care of this university. And then you have such a dynamic Lieutenant Governor, Kiran Bedi ji. She will be also of much of a guidance to you people. So take advantage of the same and try to make your university as a center of excellence. Use of IT, connecting with the community, and then you have a vision plan. But those vision plan, if you have to achieve it, you must work hard. And if you all work hard, work together, focus together, you will be able to achieve it much before the target. Friends, once again, I am very much thankful for the Vice Chancellor and also for the students and the faculty for giving me this opportunity, wonderful opportunity of coming over here, meeting you all people. It's really, whenever I meet youngsters across the country, I feel more and more enthused because you are the future. Let us all work together and then take the country to further heights. That's my advice to all of you. Thank you very much. Nandri, Vanakkam.
தொடர்ந்து புதுச்சேரி துணைநிலை ஆளுநர் கிரண்பேடி மற்றும் முதலமைச்சர் நாராயணசாமி ஆகியோருக்கு பல்கலைக்கழக துணைவேந்தர் குர்மித் சிங் நினைவு பரிசு வழங்கி கௌரவித்தார். நிறைவாக பாண்டிச்சேரி பல்கலைக்கழக மேலாண்மை பள்ளி இணை பேராசிரியர் உமா சந்திரசேகரன் நன்றி கூற விழா இனிதே நிறைவுற்றது.